Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sports in the Morning edition. No, this is not the OT, but we are giving you a special interview this morning. We are at the Grove Holiday in Market Street. We are joined now by the president of the Bahamas Olympic Committee, Romel Fish-Knowles, and the question on everyone's mind, the Olympics with the coronavirus out there. We have seen lots of leagues in the United States postponed. Yesterday, the Ivy League postponed their whole basketball conference. Fish, what is the situation with the Olympics and this coronavirus? It's serious.
Well, if I were to say that athletes and coaches and international federations are not concerned, I wouldn't be telling the truth. But in all honesty, I think when you look at the media hype on the coronavirus, it's not as bad as the common flu. Our word from the International Olympic Committee is that the games are a go. The World Health Organization has not named this a pandemic. And so for all intents and purposes, we've said to our federations that they should continue to prepare and support our athletes for the Olympic Games.
Have you heard from our athletes calling you and saying what is going to happen?
They don't have to. I'm sure that they're monitoring as well. It is a concern because of the media hype. I mean, and truth be told, I mean, the common flu killed more people than the coronavirus. That's not to suggest for any second that we will let our guards down. We will not allow our athletes. The International Olympic Committee will not allow any athlete to come in an environment that's not secured and free from the coronavirus. The World Health Organization is advisory to the International Olympic Committee. The international sporting federations are all party to the Olympic Games, and thus far all of them said that they're supporting the hosting of the Olympic Games in Japan come July. So obviously in the coming months that may change, but right now the Olympic Games are a go.
We have seen emergency meetings over the last few weeks from the IOC, the World Health Organization. There is concern that if the games don't happen when it is supposed to happen, it can be pushed back, but it's going to cost Tokyo some money.
Well, truth be told, Tokyo's invested some $12 billion in these games. It has been rumored that these games will be the most highly technical games in the history of the Olympic movement. Tokyo thus far has been, appears to be putting their money where their mouth is in terms of putting on the best games ever for the Olympic Games. Unfortunately, you know, we don't have no control over these type of acts, and the coronavirus obviously came out of left field. But Tokyo, the organizing committee, the government of Japan is doing all that it can to control the environment where the Olympic Games are. And obviously there's concern about airline travel. And so all these things are being taken under consideration. And so I have no fear at all. I trust the decision of the International Olympic Committee that they will not put us in harm's way.
We have seen most major sports in the United States, hockey, baseball, and NBA, talk about not allowing fans into those stadiums not to allow the transmission of the disease. Also, reporters and media access to the locker room.
I've heard. I have no official comments on that other than to suggest that maybe the suggestion from International Federation might follow suit. But, you know, and I can understand why the professional league will take that stance. The insurance obviously is an issue, and obviously spreading the disease to its players will be, I mean, just fatal. But, you know, we're still some 3 months out from the Olympic Games. So every precaution is being taken deliberately by the International Olympic Committee, by the World Health Organization, and we'll wait and see, you know, what's the best remedy to ensure that we have the best environment. If it calls for postponement, then so be it. I have every confidence that the International Sporting Federation will make movement for the Olympic Games. I mean, and make no mistake about it, these are the games. And so if they have to push it back for whatever reason, then I think the International Sporting Federation will make adjustment to their schedule, because the Olympic Games is paramount to our athletes worldwide, and it is the paramount games.
Is there a timetable as to say, hey, April, May, we don't want these games to happen at this point? Is there a timetable now by the IOC?
I've not heard an official time frame, but I think that time is drawing nigh. And like I said, the International Olympic Committee has said so far that the games are a go. Obviously, we've heard incidences of the coronavirus in Japan. It seems to be controlled now. We don't know what another 30, 40 days, 60 days means. And so we just have to wait and see how, if, first of all, if there is a solution to this coronavirus, meaning is there a vaccine for the virus? Is Tokyo safe in terms of does it spread into perhaps hundreds of people being affected by it? But I think the media is causing more harm than good because this thing is not as bad as the common flu. And then we're getting into winter where the flu will kill more people or cause more harm to people than the coronavirus. But it is a new strand, and we're learning as we go, and so we just have to wait and see.
Will the games be watered down because a lot of the qualification events are not happening?
No, a lot of the, I don't think so. I think when a gun shoots or the whistle blows in the particular sport, the athletes will be ready. We strive of competition as athletes. And so now the hype leading up to the Olympics, no, there is a concern there because obviously the coronavirus is being featured on every major network in the world. But I think if the IOC feels comfortable that we can secure the environment, the World Health Organization and all the other medical experts saying that the games can be hosted, I think, and the athletes feel safe and comfortable, that's paramount. The games will be successful. And, leading up to every games, there's always some type of issue. This is a new one. This is something that we're learning from. But I think once it's competition day and athletes are comfortable, it'll be a very exciting games.
Question, what if the games enter at your own risk? Will you still send Bahamian athletes to the games?
No, I will not put Bahamian athletes, I will not put Bahamian personnel at any risk. And so while I trust the IOC and their decision, and we'll follow their lead, if it becomes, like you suggested, come at your own risk, the Bahamas will not participate.
When a time when the athletes should be preparing for the games, this is not what we want. The hype, like you say, should have been there. What is your thinking as the president of the Bahamas Olympic Committee?
I'm concerned, obviously, but like I said, I trust my partners in this, the International Olympic Committee. I trust our partner in the World Health Organization. I've suggested to our sporting federation, as the International Sporting Federation would have suggested as well, to continue to make preparation for the games. It's better to be prepared and there is no games than for there to be a games and not be prepared. So we're telling our athletes to treat this as any other Olympic Games, and when the time approaches and when the right time, if it's a go, we'll be ready.
What will be the disciplines for the Bahamas?
Right now we have track and field and swimming, or aquatics as they call themselves nowadays. There is judo that's on the cusp. There are a number of sports, new sports that we've introduced to the Bahamas where we are hopeful that they would get a universal sport or an invite from their international federation. But it's still far out. I mean, the deadline is not until June, and so anything is possible, anything can happen. But we're hoping that other federations and our athletes make a breakthrough through sports that's not really traditional Bahamian sports at the Olympic Games.
Well, you heard it there from Romel Fishnows. He's the president of the Bahamas Olympic Committee. The coronavirus affecting sports worldwide, and it's still an iffy on the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. As for what happened last night in the New Providence Women's Basketball Association playoffs, we now go to the highlight reel. It's the second season in the New Providence Women's Basketball Association, and this matchup featuring the pennant winners, Discount Distributor Rockets taking on the BIBT Great Whites, and this one looked pretty like it was going to be a contest early, but in the end, it will be the Rockets flying high. They take game one of this series, 87-66. Actually, they are already looking forward to the next round, which is the championship. This first round, according to them, is just practice.
We came tonight to execute our game plan really for not playoffs but for championship. We came to do what it was necessary to win today, but really for practice run of what we need to do for championship. Defense was our key all season. All season our defense is what we were really counting on to bring us our wins.
Focus for the next game is to just try and attack the paint more because we know that they're a physical team and we have to be physical also with them in order for us to come up with the win next time. We have to do better execution.
We'd like to thank Romel Fish-Knowles. Once again, we are here at
Grove Holiday. It's the place to be.
Thanks for getting up with us early in the morning. You used to getting up this early in the morning just to give us a special interview because of the coronavirus. You saw the Prime Minister had a press conference on Sunday. Yeah. The world is having a press conference, so it was only fitting that you let the Bahamian athletes know what's happening.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've been very fortunate thus far, and I support the Minister of Health. It's not a matter of... it's just a matter of when it happens, that we be prepared as a country and obviously as the Olympic Committee, National Olympic Committee, to make sure that we're prepared to make sure that our athletes take every precaution and be safe during this transition from the coronavirus.
Well, that's going to be it for Sports Wednesday in the Morning Edition. Thanks for watching, everybody. And in depth, you've been asking me questions about whether the Bahamas will be represented at the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. We are still waiting on the answer, but you got most of it this morning from President Romel Fish-Knowles.